Number 921, RUPTL 2021 to 2030 OECD summary. RUPTL 2021 to 2030, PLN steps up ambitions to accelerate clean energy investments in Indonesia. The government of Indonesia and PLN, the national power utility, released last month the new electricity business plan, RUPTL 2021-2030, which sets out Indonesia's future power capacity and network development plans over the next 10 years. This new RUPTL, rooted as the greenest RUPTL to date, marks a turning point in the country's energy transition as, for the first time, renewable energy accounts for half or 21 gigawatt of total power capacity addition. The plan comes in support of the government's objectives to achieve a 23% share of renewable energy in the energy mix by 2025, as stated in the National Electricity General Plan, or RUKN, as well as to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 29 to 41% by 2030, and achieve net zero emissions by 2060, in line with the country's nationally determined contributions. Total capacity addition was revised down, but the share of renewables increased. Uncertainties surrounding current and future power demand growth due to the pandemic caused significant revisions in projections assumptions, as well as delays in the preparation of the RUPTL 2021-30. Among those changes, the compound annual growth rate of electricity demand over 2021-30 was cut down to 4.4%, compared with 6.5% in the previous 2019 and 28 plan, entailing a reduction in electricity demand projections across all regions, but the Eastern Islands, example, Moluccas and Papua and Nusa Tenggara, clubbed together under the acronym PNT, substantially total power capacity addition in the RUPTL 2021-30 in roughly 40% lower than in the previous 2019-28 plan. This figure one first, renewables account for half of total power capacity addition. Renewable energies and 52%, and this is and the hydro is 23%, and solar PV is 12%. Still, renewable power capacity addition represents a roughly 20 percentage point increase, or roughly 4 gigawatt in absolute value. Compared to the previous RUPTL, also much of this share increase is due to a relative reduction in fossil fuel capacity addition. Java, Madura Valley, and Jamuli, the largest power system in the country, and Sumatra are regions with the highest addition of hydro capacity and renewable more broadly, while Jamuli and MPMT, where diesel generators are ubiquitous, are those with the largest addition of solar photovoltaic PV. Figure 2, MPMT has the highest share of solar power capacity addition. Total renewable power capacity addition by region 2021-30. MPMT is a solar PV is largest. Sulawesi is a hydro is the largest. Despite this all positive development, coal and gas continue to make up a significant share of total capacity addition. Contrasting with recent announcements to ban new coal build-outs starting in 2022, part of this is attributable to the fact that all coal capacity to be developed beyond 2022 are carried over from the previous 35 gigawatt power plan, to which the ban does not apply. Given the relatively young age of Indonesia's coal fleet, adding on more coal to the country power capacity makes risks further locking in emissions, increasing the transition cost and hence jeopardizing the country's net zero emission goals. Hence, prioritize renewable energy development will be important in Indonesia is to be on 1.5 compatible pathway. Private investment continues to play a central role to fund power generation expansion plans. As in the other plans, IPPs have a greater role in developing planned capacity than PLN. Of the total 40.6 gigawatt of planned additional capacity, 26.3 gigawatt or 65%, as compared to 60% in the 2019-28 RUPTL is earmarked for development by independent power producers, IPPs, while PLN would be responsible for the remainder. This also holds true for renewables, where the private sector is to build out an exceptionally high share of renewable capacity, particularly compared to the 2019-28 plan. More especially, 11.8 gigawatt of renewable power capacity addition, or 56% of the total renewable capacity addition, is slated for IPP development, while PLN would build the remaining 9.1% gigawatt or 44% of total renewable capacity addition. On figure 3, a higher share of renewable capacity is earmarked for IPPs than in the previous RUPTL. So IPP is a very important, very high share. Achieving targets may prove particularly challenging in the light of PLN's unfavorable finance situation, as can be seen in the latest PLN's financial report. Indeed, total power investment needs encompassing electricity generation, transmission, substation, distribution, and others are substantial, estimated at around USD 9.14 billion per year over 2021 to 30, or 1.6 times actual power spending in Indonesia in 2019. Of this total, PLN is expected to contribute USD 5.14 billion per year, a substantial amount compared to committed state equity participation, PMM, of USD 0.6 billion per year on average over that period. Plugging this financing shortfall could prove particularly challenging. However, as a growing number of countries, including Japan, South Korea, and China, and multilateral development banks pledged to phase out overseas funding for coal power plants. Meanwhile, the cost of numerous renewable technologies continue to fall, and investors' appetite for green product globally is higher than ever. Furthermore, as PLN remains the sole entity responsible for transmission and distribution infrastructure development in the country, opening private sector participation in that segment of the market would ease PLN's financial burden on the one hand and strengthen network infrastructure on the other, which is determined to help accommodate greater share of variable renewable energy. Regulatory reforms as well as more international collaboration will be crucial to realize ambitions. While the latest RUPTL sends a positive signal to investors, achieving its ambition requires creating a sound, transparent, and predictable policy framework to unlock private capital. For instance, as a recent OECD Clean Energy Finance and Investment Policy Review of Indonesia highlights, increasing market competition through a gradual shift to a fair, transparent, and competitive procurement process for renewables can help scale up renewable power development in a cost-effective way. Ongoing efforts to implement an emission trade system in the power sector and to improve the investment climate under the Omnibus Law are already steps in the right direction. However, challenges remain and key areas still need to be addressed. This includes streaming and facilitating land acquisition procedure, which requires one of the longest lead time in renewable project development. International development assistance will be equally important to turn the RUPTL 2021-2030 renewable plans into reality. A blended finance mechanism, including technical assistance to support project preparation and the financial structuring, as well as de-risking mechanism in the forms of first loss or non-payment guarantees, would help to improve the capacity of project developers to access both domestic and international debt finance. Development finance should also support inventions that can help standardize projects to facilitate responsibility and ease project evaluation and due diligence of finance institution. This would help to overcome challenges faced in the market on the quality of feasibility studies. Improving data availability on historical renewable energy project performance will also be an important tool for mobilizing private capital and accelerating the development of the renewable electricity market. OECD, this work is published on the responsibility of the team leading the OECD Clean Energy Finance and Investment Mobilization (CEFIM) program. The opinions expressed and the arguments herein do not necessarily reflect the official views of the OECD or the governments of its member countries. This document, any map included herein are without prejudice to the status of or sovereignty over any territory, to the delimitation of international frontiers and boundaries, and to the name of any territory